Yeah.
You know she came back from the dead just to destroy Pops again. That's all I know.
Cheryl, listen to me. We've got to help Pops get through this, okay? That's the most important thing right now.
I heard him crying last night, looking at her pictures and crying. How could you do this to him?
Where are you going?
Get my sweater. I have to go to work.
Maybe getting out of here for a while help her feel better.
Yeah. How's Vince?
He's resting. I hope he'll get some sleep.
Hey, Mac.
Hi, Cass.
Good.
Hi, MJ. I spoke to Kathleen at the office. I came over to see how Vince is doing.
Thanks, Mac. He's resting. In fact, I'm gonna go check on him right now.
Well, would you tell him I'm worried about him and if there's anything I can do? I'm surprised Kathleen came into the office.
I guess she just had some things to finish up over there. I think she really wanted to get out of here.
Well, I know the whole family must be shaken.
Oh, that's an understatement.
I'm so glad that you're here to step in and help. They really need you now, Cass.
Well, that's exactly what I've been thinking lately, Mac.
I mean, somebody has got to put Reginald Love in his place.
I have a real good idea where that place is.
A man who will steal another man's wife, destroy his family. Well, there's just no punishment too bad for that.
He's sleeping.
Oh,
finally.
Good. I know you'll take good care of him. You always have.
I'll do my best.
Let me know if I can do anything.
Thank you, Mac. Well, I guess we should try to figure out what's the truth here. Reggie is certainly not going to volunteer any information.
I know.
Where are you going?
Well, now that Pops is asleep, I'm gonna go over to the Avery Hotel. I'd like to ask my mother why she's pretending not to recognize her own children.
You're not going without me.
You okay, Dad?
I told her once she was the center of my universe. Do you know what she did?
No.
She laughed in my face. Anyone else did that, I'd cut them off at the knees. Not her. She could laugh in my face and make me feel like the most loved, the most needed man in the world.
Dad, I know you love her.
I'm glad you know that.
But how's that gonna make up for the lying?
I thought maybe you might help me.
Me?
How about it, old man? If you knew the whole story, you'd understand, and maybe you could... Darling.
Called a cab. It'll be here in about 5 minutes.
Dad, come on. Just please tell me. I promise I'll be fair about this.
Yes, that's a good idea. Tell him. I'd like to hear, too. You got 5 minutes.
Your mother and I fell in love when she was working for me at the Love Estate.
She worked for you while she was married to Vince McKinnon?
We were very attracted to each other. Neither one of us intended it, but we had an affair. We couldn't help ourselves.
Go on, please.
One night we were on my boat. It was a rather rough night. Your mother was very, very disturbed. Because she'd just made the decision to leave her husband and her children and to come with me. She was very upset. It was not an easy decision. And so she ran out onto the deck to get some fresh air. I followed her. There was a party on the boat that night. One of the male guests approached her in a rather rude way. I pushed him away and there was a fight. Your mother tried to break it up. She lost her balance. She fell overboard.
What'd you do?
Well, all I could think of was finding her. Thank God I did. But she had hit her head when she fell, and she was severely injured. I had her rushed to a hospital and into surgery. When the doctor came and told me that she was going to live, I dropped to my knees. I was so relieved. You see, I realized that I couldn't live without her.
When did you find out she lost her memory?
From the moment she regained consciousness. She had no memory of the decision she'd made to be with me and to leave her husband and family behind. I thought if I could spare her that. I looked in her eyes and I realized her love for me was just as strong as ever. I just wanted to spare her the pain of knowing what it would cost her to stay with me.
Of leaving her husband and children, Dad?
Yes. I know now I shouldn't have done it. But hindsight is always 20/20. I told her we were already married. It seemed the easiest way. And she needed so much care and attention to get her life back together. Telling her she had just made the decision to leave her family behind made it impossible for her ever to be happy. So I decided to start a new life with her. I persuaded her to leave the country with me. And I arranged to have my family informed that I had died while I was in Egypt on business.
You did all of that?
I would have done more.
What about me?
Well, I knew Mary wanted to have children. But after the accident, she couldn't have any of her own, and so we adopted you. All those years, the three of us lived together. It was an idyllic life. Until now.
Dad, that still doesn't excuse what you did.
I agree. How much time do I have left?
Go on.
I told you about the first time I ever saw your mother. I was staring out the window of my house.
The house that Donna lives in now?
Yes. I'd reached a rather empty point in my life. And then I saw her walking along the driveway. She was wearing a beautiful white summer dress. She stopped for a moment to look up at the house. I thought I had nothing to live for. And then I looked in her eyes. And it was like I suddenly came alive.
What did you do?
I rushed down the stairs with my heart pounding. And I answered the door myself. And there she stood. She was so beautiful. And I just stood there staring at her. I was sure she could hear my pulse racing. It turned out to be the rashest thing I've ever done. I've never regretted it. I was in love every instant from that first moment until now. Your taxi must be here by now. What are you going to do?
How long had we been having our affair before I decided to leave my husband?
Several months.
Did he know we were seeing each other?
I don't think so.
How many children do I have?
4. 3 girls and a boy.
How could I leave 4 children? What kind of a woman does something like that?
You always intended to stay in touch with them.
That's why you didn't tell me about them.
I was afraid you'd be drawn back to them and away from me.
You didn't tell anyone you rescued me, did you? You just let my family think I drowned.
Yes. I'm afraid I'm a very selfish man where you're concerned.
Well, I'm sure they've made a life for themselves without me by now.
Does that mean...
Honey, you don't have to stay here with me. You can go back to your own place.
Will I see you, Mom?
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm not going to be leaving Bay City for a while.
Until then...
I'll stay here in the hotel.
Thank God.
Are you sure, Mom?
Yeah, I'm sure. It's okay. You go. Come on. You should be in school.
Okay, I'll go. I understand.
Thank you, baby. Oh, wait a second. Give this to the cab driver and just tell him I changed my mind.
Marissa, I can't tell you what this means to me.
I have to see them.
Just as long as we're still a family.
Well, it seems I have two families now. And I have to see my children.
Just as long as you stay here with me.
You can't keep any more secrets.
I won't. I swear it. You do whatever you have to do, and then we'll leave. Oh, Marissa. We're going to have such a wonderful life.
Reginald, I can't make any promises.
I know. We'll go slowly. But we'll be together. That's the only thing that matters. Okay.
We're here to see Mary McKinnon.
Hi, Mama.
I would give anything in the world to remember you and the others. I can't.
Are you trying to tell us that you have amnesia?
Retrograde amnesia is what her doctor called it.
What doctor?
I can arrange for you to speak with him.
Oh, thank you. That's a wonderful idea.
I can set it up right now.
No, wait. There's someone else who should be here.
Who are you calling?
Mr. McKinnon. Vince, I think you should hear this.
I don't think that would be wise.
Why not?
Well, to put it mildly, your father is a highly emotional man.
Well, he deserves an explanation.
Well, perhaps it would be better for Miss McKinnon to meet with Dr. Lewis. Then she could tell her father in private.
Dr. Lewis?
No. I want Mr. McKinnon here, and I am going to call him.
Hold it.
MJ.
Just hold it. We've got a big problem here.
We're dealing with a multitude of problems, Mr. Winthrop. Which one specifically are you talking about?
The problem I have believing a word you say.
Or a word Dr. Lewis says.
Dr. Lewis, I don't understand.
I had an interview with Dr. Lewis, Mama, and he told me that the patient he treated in room 333 17 years ago was a man, and that he died of a brain tumor.
I was the patient.
Exactly.
Why would Dr. Lewis lie to you?
Would you care to answer the lady, Mr. Love?
To protect you, to protect our life together. That's all that ever mattered to me.
Which brings us right back to our major problem. How do we know that Dr. Lewis won't lie to us again?
I will instruct him in front of all of you to tell the truth.
Now, why doesn't that impress me?
I'm going to call Dr. Nardella.
Who's he?
He's a top neurosurgeon. He's a consultant to the police department. I think that Dr. Nardella should be here when our friend Dr. Lewis tells all.
I have no objection to that.